Well, hello. We are going to be doing lesson 6 today. Lesson 6, that's a little hard to read, but I'll write it on there. So we are on lesson 6. Now, there's something important that I need to tell you as we get into lesson 6. You're going to notice at the very end of the papers that I gave to you, that we gave to you as teachers, I wish I would have known that this was here. And like I said at the very beginning, this is my first time going through this program too, and there's some things about it that I don't know, and this is one of them. So this is oh dear. Okay, explain yourself, Miss Star. So I did not know that they already had a copy in the packet for you to be able to make. Oh my gosh, look at this. You get to make your own meter stick. Okay, so you have to cut these out very carefully, and then every place where it has a place for you to be able to tape it together, you're going to need to tape it together, being very careful that when you tape the 25 together, can you see that? Oh dear, that's kind of hard to see. When you tape the 25 centimeter mark together, make sure you get that 2 and 5 right perfect together. There's 30 centimeters and 40 centimeters and 50 centimeters and 60 centimeters and 70 centimeters. At the 75 centimeter mark, you have to get that 7 and 5 right next to each other. 80 centimeters, 90 centimeters, and 100 centimeters. So there's your centimeter stick. I think it would have been a good idea if they would have put this like maybe 2 lessons ago. I don't know, just my thought. So if I was, when I do this program again next year, that will be something that I'll think about, that I will know that I need to have this template for these lessons. There it is. So let's go ahead. You need to make your little ruler, so you probably need to stop the video right now and construct your meter stick. So you are going to have a meter stick for you to use at your house. And I'm so sorry that I didn't know that this was a part of that packet, because I'm just barely staying ahead of it a day at a time too, because I don't know the program very well myself. But I'm learning right along with you. So do take the time to make your meter stick, because we're going to be using it this morning as a matter of fact. So stop the video, make your meter stick. You will need to have some Scotch tape to help you do that. And it would probably be a really good idea, parents, if you helped your student do this. It's a little tiny bit tricky, but with some assistance from you as a parent or whoever is out there helping, if your grandma or a big brother or sister or whoever, make sure that you get this part done so that your student has a meter stick, and hopefully you still have your centimeter stick too. Alrighty, so pause the video and make your meter stick. Okay, are we back? All right, so let's take a look at what we're going to be doing with our meter stick today. So if I was looking at my meter stick, and I need to point out, and hopefully while you were making this and when I talked yesterday, you noticed that a meter stick is 100 centimeters in length. So let's just take a look at that. I'm going to go back. So here we start with 0 centimeters right at the very beginning. That first centimeter, just like on your small little meters, your centimeter stick, there's 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimeters, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to 10. You're going to notice that your centimeter stick highlights every 10 centimeters. So there's 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters, 50 centimeters, 60 centimeters, 70 centimeters, 80 centimeters, 90 centimeters, all the way up to the very end, which is 100 centimeters. Now, I didn't cut this part of my centimeter stick or my meter stick off because I didn't want to lose my little 100 centimeters. So I'm just going to mark that as the end of my centimeter, or the end of my meter stick. Sorry, I keep saying the wrong thing. But it's important for you to remember that a meter is 100 centimeters. So if I was going to write that, I would say that 1 meter, and we use an M to represent meter, is equal to 100 centimeters. Now that's going to be really important for you to know. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So you got to get that in your head. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. And we will need that particular equivalency during this particular lesson. All right, so we're going to start with our meter stick, and we're going to start at 80 centimeters. So if I had 80 centimeters, how many more centimeters would I need to get to 100 centimeters? And you, whoops, centimeters. That would be 100 centimeters or 1 meter, because 100 centimeters and a meter are the same. So how many more would I need to get to 100 centimeters? So let's count that. That would be from 80 to 90 would be 10, and from 90 to 100 would be another 10. So wouldn't that be 10 centimeters and 20 centimeters? So 20 centimeters plus the 80 centimeters would get me to 100, whoops, that's centimeters, mister, 100 centimeters or 1 meter. So we're skip counting by tens when we figure out how much more I would need to get to 100 centimeters or a meter. So let's try another one. Let's do, what if I had, whoops, dropped my pen. What if I had, I'm going to go up just a little bit here. I'm going to move this over. What? Boy, that just keeps sliding right off my desk. What if I had 50 centimeters and I wanted to go up to 100 centimeters or 1 meter? Okay, so I have 50 centimeters and I want to go up to 100. So I'm going to start at 50. There's 50 centimeters, 50, and I'm going to count all the way up. So there's 50, from 50 to 60 is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Did you say 50 centimeters? I hope you did. 50 centimeters plus 50 centimeters would get me to 100 centimeters or a meter. Did you notice that it's like this? 5 tens plus 5 tens gives me 10 tens. 5 tens plus 5 tens gives me 10 tens, and 0 ones plus 0 ones gives me 0 ones. I could add it that way too. And I'm also thinking that 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. All right, let's try one more of those. What if I had 60 centimeters? 60 centimeters, and I wanted to get to 100 centimeters or 1 meter. Can you think that through? Let's have you try it yourself. How would that be if I went from 60 centimeters, oops, bring that down, and I was trying to get to 100? Well, let's count that. From 60 to 70 would be 10, so there's 10, 20, 30, and 40. Did you say 40 centimeters? If you did, congratulations, you are exactly right, because 6 tens plus 6 tens gives me 10 tens, and 0 ones plus 0 ones gives me 0 ones. So 60 plus 40 would be 100 or equal to 1 meter. Okay, so there we go with that. All right, so let's take a look at a little word problem that we're going to work together today. We have Eve, who is 7 centimeters shorter. That's an important thing here. She is 7 centimeters shorter than Joe. Notice that I've circled my number and I have boxed a keyword. Eve is 7 centimeters shorter than Joe. Joe is 91 centimeters tall. So my question is how tall is Eve? All right, so I've used cubes. I'm also using read, write, and draw. I'm going to draw what my number bond is going to look like. So I know that Eve is 7 centimeters shorter than Joe. And I know that Joe, here's Joe, this is Joe, and this is how tall Joe is. He's 91 centimeters tall. And she is 7 centimeters shorter than Joe. So she is 7 centimeters shorter than Joe. So I'm just drawing this out so I can get an idea of what I need to do. So here's my number bond. I need to find out what I would have to add to 7 to get that 91, because that would tell me how tall Eve is. So I'm going to now think about setting up an equation which would be 91, because remember 91 take away 7 would give me how tall Eve is. So 91 take away 7 equals how tall Eve would be. So I'm going to use my break apart and break 91 apart. Take out a 10. I'm going to take out a 10. So if I take out a 10, that takes me from 91 to 81. Do you remember when we've done this before? Of course you do. So now I know that I have to subtract 10 take away 7 equals 10 take away 7 equals 3, and 81 plus the 3 that I had left. 81, I'm going to add my 1s and my 1s to give me 4, and there's no 10s to add with the 8, so I know that Eve was 84 centimeters, oops, I almost wrote 87, 84 centimeters tall. That means she is 7 centimeters shorter than Joe. And if I add 84 and 7 together, I get 91. Now, I'm not quite finished with this problem. However, I have run out of space here. I need to now write a sentence that answers this question. I think I'm going to turn my board sideways so I have room to write that. So to answer how tall is Eve, I would say Eve is 84 centimeters tall. I always have to write a sentence to answer that question. Eve is 84 centimeters tall. So think about all the steps that we went through to solve this word problem. I circled the numbers, boxed keywords, underlined the question, then I drew my bar model. My bar model, I knew that she was 7 centimeters shorter than Joe, and I was trying to find out this part right here. I knew that Joe was 91 centimeters tall, which would mean 91 take away 7 would give me this number. So then I came down, set up the equation. 91 take away 7, oops, I forgot to write that in right there, would be 84. That's how we figured that out, taking out a group of 10. And then I wrote the answer to that question, which is Eve is 84 centimeters tall. All right, so as second graders, we definitely need to make sure that we are understanding how to solve word problems. Okay, so now I am going to ask you to get your sprint. I want to talk to you for just a second about this sprint before we do it today, because it's a little bit different than some of the sprints that we have done before. I'm going to use my yellow highlighter to help you out just a little bit. Remember that you have 1 minute to do your sprints, but I want you to pay close attention to whether or not you're talking about centimeters or meters. So far, as I look down the problems, I can see that everything is centimeters. I'm just going to take my little centimeter ruler here, and I'm going to look carefully at each one of those problems to see that we've got centimeters, 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 all the way down. So we're comparing which one is longer. Oh, wait a minute. Right there on problem number 16, I want you to put a little note or something on problem 16 and notice that suddenly, all of a sudden, they have 86 centimeters compared to 68 meters. So you really have to be watching whether you're talking about centimeters or meters. Let's see if there's any more that do that. Whoop, there's one right there. These are ones that I want you to pay a special attention to because we're comparing 99 centimeters to 98 meters. Now there's a huge difference between those two. And again on 20, we have meters here. And on 21, I think they're trying to really mess you up here by throwing in these meters, and you've got to be thinking about comparing 1 meter, which remember is 100 centimeters compared to 101 centimeters. So let's go over to the other side and see if it happens over here. These are just a couple of little hints to help make this sprint maybe not quite so confusing. So let's go down. Oop, there's a meter right there. And I'm okay with if you want to highlight those so that your brain is working faster when you start this sprint. I'm just looking, because when I did this sprint yesterday myself, I was like, oh my gosh, they threw in meters every once in a while. So you really have to be thinking about what you're doing. Oh, there's one right there on number 43. There's a meter. Oh, and there's one on 44. There's a meter. And I'm going to come back up here to 25, 24, 25, and 26. So just a little hint. I found that I got going along so fast and I stopped paying attention to whether I was comparing meters or centimeters. Now, you might want to study your meter stick for just a minute and think about, I'm just going to come down to number 16. If you were comparing 68 meters, that would be 68, my friends, of these. I would have to count this 68 times. That would be 68 meters. So let's just, I'm not going to count 68 because I'd be here all day, but here would be, I'm just going through it, that would be 1 meter, 2 meters. Okay, think about 68 of those. That would be pretty long. That would be very long. So think about that compared to 86 centimeters, which would be on your meter stick, right? 80 plus 6 more. Doesn't even take me to the end of my meter stick. So you need to be thinking when you're comparing centimeters and meters. Meters are a much larger unit than a centimeter. Centimeters are small and meters are larger. All right, so let's get ready to start your sprint. Remember, you have 1 minute to do this sprint, so you're going to get your pencil ready. And if you need to stop the video for just a minute so you can highlight the things that I've shown you, I'm going to come up here so you can see that a little bit better. I know when I move my camera away, it's not quite as clear, but I'm trying to help you the best way I know how to help make this math as exciting and fun as it can possibly be, because I think it's really a fun and exciting way to do this. I really do. I'm starting to really enjoy this program as I learn it myself. So I'm going to set my stopwatch for 1 minute. Let me get there. And when you hear the buzzer, you know that it will be time for you to stop. Ready and begin. Make sure you watch. Is it centimeters or meters? Keep going, don't stop. And stop. Okay, so your pencil is down, and now we're going to take a look and see how you did. I'm just going to bring this one over because this is the one that I did earlier. And let's take a look. How did you do at circling which was the longer length? All right, so on number 1, you should have said 1 centimeter, 11 centimeters, 12 centimeters, 22, 30, 31, 43 is definitely more centimeters than 33 centimeters. 33, 53 is more centimeters than 35 centimeters. 50, 55, 55 centimeters is more than 50 centimeters. 65 centimeters, 66 centimeters, 86 centimeters. Now here's our first one with meters. This is the one that I talked about before we started the test. So 68 meters would be much longer than 86 centimeters, as I demonstrated. Then on 17, 88 centimeters, 98 centimeters. Were you careful on this one? Were you careful? Then we have 98. This is 98 meters. Okay, boy, yeah, I put a little arrow on that one for me. 98 meters compared to 99 centimeters. There would be a huge difference. 99 centimeters is just the tiniest bit shorter than 1 meter, because remember, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Hopefully that didn't throw you off. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, and this is 101, so that would make that just the slightest bit longer. And we have 1 meter, which is equal to 100 centimeters, being just a bit more than 90 centimeters. Okay, we're going to zip through this quick. 110, 110, 111. I don't know if you got this far. 101, 111, 112, 115, 115, 116, 108 centimeters, 119 centimeters, 133 centimeters, 133 centimeters, 142, 144, 154, 155, 154, 155, 199. Now look at this, we're really getting up there. So 225 centimeters compared to 215 centimeters. 252 centimeters is less than 255 centimeters. And then these last two meters would be the same as 200 centimeters. 200 centimeters compared to 295 centimeters. Well, this one would definitely be longer. And 3 meters would be 300 centimeters, because that would be 100 plus 100 plus 100. And that would definitely be just bigger than 295 centimeters. Now, if you were not able to get through the whole thing, that's okay. Maybe you were able to get maybe to number 14, okay? So you're going to put the number correct, 14, and when we get ready to do the next sprint, you're going to see if you can beat your own score. The only reason that I go through all of them is because some of you might be getting farther than others, and I need to make sure that you know what those answers are. And if you didn't get all the way finished, it would be a good idea for you to go back and finish the ones on your own that you might not have gotten to. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next sprint, and we're going to do exactly the same thing, except this time Miss Star is not going to highlight those meters for you. You're going to have to watch carefully to see if any of these are measuring. Well, there's one right there. I can see it before I even start. 97 meters compared to 79 centimeters. You need to be paying attention. And remember, you're circling the longer length. And let's see, my score on the other page, what was it? My score on the other page was, oops, let me see. I'm going to write it down. Oh, let me see. Yeah, my score on the other page was 14. So I was able to get 14, and I'm going to try and beat 14. That's what you're going to try and do. Remember, you have 1 minute. Get as far as you can. Get your pencil ready and begin. Watch, is it meters or centimeters? That's important. Keep going. And stop. All right, so let's take a look and see how you did and see if you improved your score. So you'll remember your score from the last one was 14 problems completed. So we're looking at 0 centimeters compared to 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter is definitely longer than 0. So 12 centimeters, 12 centimeters, 32 centimeters, 40, 41 centimeters, 44 centimeters, 54, 65, 60, 65, 70 compared to 65 would definitely be 70 is bigger. 75, 77, 78 or 87. Uh-oh, look at this one. This one was meters. Did you see that one? So definitely 97 meters would be much longer than 79 centimeters. 88 centimeters, 98 centimeters, 1 meter compared to 99 centimeters. Well, remember 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, so 1 meter would definitely be longer than 99. 100 centimeters compared to 99 centimeters, 101 centimeters, and 101 centimeters would be just slightly bigger than 1 meter, which would only be 100 centimeters. 111 centimeters, 110 centimeters, 110 centimeters, because this was 1 meter and 1 meter, 111, 117, 112, 115, 116, 117 centimeters, 118, 120, 132, 133, 143, 144 compared to 114 definitely would be this one, because this one is much longer than 114. 154, 155, 199, 225, 255, 295. Well, I'm going to just take a look at this one because 2 meters would be the same as 200 centimeters, definitely more, 95 more compared, and 3 meters would be 300 centimeters, which would be bigger than 295 centimeters. I hope that your score improved and that you got better. I know mine did. I got up to 20 correct this time, which means from 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more that I got correct. So I would be very happy that I improved on my own score. Remember, the only person that you're competing against on these sprints is yourself. If you were not able to get all the way through with this, parents, I would very strongly encourage you to have your student finish those because they are really good exercises. All right, let's move on to our problem sets, and we are going to start on the next page. You're going to need to have your centimeter ruler, but you could also use your meter stick to help you with this because it's also in centimeters. And this would work very nicely. I wish I would have known that this was there, people. I'm so sorry. I feel really bad that I didn't know. It just makes me sad. I think I'll probably use this one because everyone has one of these. Well, next year I'll know better. All right, so we are going to measure each set of lines in centimeters and then write the length on the right and then complete the comparison sentences. So line A, if I'm looking at the beginning of line A, that's in the dark spot right there, but I think I can get pretty close. Wonder what happened when we copied that one. I don't know. So that one is about, line A is about 15 centimeters, and line B, here's my beginning point, here's my ending point. You're going to measure that too. What do you think? About 5? I agree. I think that's about 5. So line A is about how many centimeters longer than line B? So we're comparing line A and line B. I'd like you to stop the video for just a minute, and I would like you to set up an equation to decide that line A is about how many centimeters longer than line B. Now here's a hint. Line A was 15 centimeters and line B was 5 centimeters. Can you set up an equation to solve that problem? Okay, so pause the video and do it now, please. Are you back? Okay, so I'm going to come up here because I have a little bit more space. So if I was comparing to see how much longer line A is than line B, I would start with 15, take away what the length of line B is, which would be 5. This would be one that you should be able to do in your head by now. 15 take away 5 gives you 10 centimeters. So if you came up with 10 centimeters longer, you are exactly correct. Now I would like you to try problem number 2 on your own. You're going to measure those lines, put what the lines measure here and here, and then solve problem B. This problem B says that line C is about how many centimeters, except this time we're looking at the word shorter. Okay, we're looking at the word shorter. All right, so you're going to pause the video and try number 2. Okay, are you back? All right, here we go. So when you measured, did you find out, oh, I'm going to use the one that you have at your house, and the one that, yeah, we're going to measure. So you have 8 centimeters for line C. This was 8 centimeters. And for line D, what did you come up with? Oh, I need to put in my beginning points and my end points. That really helps me. So there's my beginning point and my end point. Looks like that's about 9 centimeters. Sorry about that big black spot right there. Don't know how that happened. So if I was going to set up to compare how much shorter this line is than this line, I would need to say, well, 9 centimeters take away 8 centimeters gives me how many centimeters? Well, that's one you can do in your head. And if you came up with one, congratulations. Now, my friends, I'm going to tell you that this page right here will be very important in helping you with your exit ticket. So you need to understand how to be able to do these problems so that you can be successful on your exit ticket. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. There might be a few problems that Miss Starr is going to be skipping today because this is really a long lesson and I don't want you to be here for 5,000 hours trying to do this. But we are going to do this next one all the way down to letter E. So we are going to measure our 2 lines, or actually this time we have 3 lines that we're going to measure. We have line E, we have line F, and we have line G. What I'd like you to do is just measure those lines first. That's all I want you to do. We're going to get the accurate measure for those lines and then we'll work the problems that go with it. I'm going to put my beginning mark and my end mark on each of my lines so that I can get an accurate measure. And you're going to do the same thing. And remember, you're only going to work that far. All right? So pause the video, measure those lines, and give me a measurement in centimeters for each one of those. Pause the video. Okay, are you back? I hope so. Okay, hopefully you have all of those lines measured. So the line E looks like it's 4 centimeters. Line E, 4 centimeters. And if you made a mistake, you might need to go back and remeasure. Line F looks like it's about, did you say 7? I would have said 7 centimeters. And how about line G? Line G is about 8 centimeters. All right, so now that we know that this one was 4 centimeters, I'm going to write it up here too. This one, line F, was 7 centimeters, and line E, or excuse me, line G was 8 centimeters. Sometimes I write the measure right on that line so that it's easy for me to keep track of what I'm doing. So line E, line F, and line G, so I don't get confused. Boy, that's an interesting arrow, Miss Starr. Let's try getting a better arrow there. All right, so now we're going to answer the questions that go along with these 3 lines. So question number 1 says lines E, F, and G are about how many centimeters combined? So that means I'm going to have to put all of these 3 numbers together. All right, I'm going to stop. I want you to stop the video and only do B. Stop the video. Okay, did you come back? All right, so we need to combine 4 centimeters, 7 centimeters, and 8 centimeters. So I need to set up an addition problem. Here we go. So I've got 7. Let's see, wait a minute. Let's try that again. I'm going to add 4 plus 7 plus 8 because I need to combine those to get the total of all 3 of those lines together. So when I combine those, I'm going to see if I can make this into an easy 10. Did you do that? Did you try to see where you could maybe make an easy 10? Well, I know if I added 2 to 8, I would get an easy 10. So I'm going to break my 4 apart into 2 and 2. So If I did that, I could take one of those 2's and combine it with the 8. So 8 plus 2 equals 10. So now I've taken care of 8 and 2. I need to see what I have left that I still need to answer. Well, I know that it would be easy to add 10 plus 7 would give me 17. And then all I have left to deal with is that little tiny 2 right there. And it's so easy to add 2's. 17 plus 2 gives me almost 20, but not quite, gives me 19. So I know that all combined, 4 plus 7 plus 8 gives me 19 centimeters. How did you do? Did you do good on that one? Okay, my friends, this is going to be important for your exit ticket. You need to know how to do these kinds of problems so you can be successful when you get there. Now we're moving down to letter E. E is about how many centimeters shorter than F. So you got to think about what your key word here is. Line E, which was how long? Remember, line E was 4 centimeters. I'm just going to write that up there so I don't forget. And I'm comparing that with line F right there. So I know that line E was 4 and line F was 7. I want you to pause the video, set up your equation, and solve to find out how much shorter line E is than line F. So we're comparing line E and line F. How much shorter is line E compared to line F? Pause the video. Are you back? I hope that you said 7 centimeters, take away 4 centimeters, gave you 3 centimeters. If you said 3 centimeters and you set that problem up correctly, I do have to see the equation, by the way. I don't want you to do it in your head. I want to see how you solved that. All right, so now we're going to move on to letter D. Line G is about how many centimeters longer than line F? Well, what was line G? Line G was 8, and line F was 7. Pause the video. Oops, centimeters. So pause the video, find out how much longer line G is than line F. How much longer? Pause the video. Are you back? Okay, I hope you set that up as 8 centimeters, take away 7 centimeters, equals just 1 centimeter. So line G is about 1 centimeter longer than line F. Now, hang on to your socks because this one gets interesting. Okay, we are going to look at line F is doubled. Okay, we've talked about this before. So I'm going to have to double line F, and it is about how many centimeters longer than line G. Now don't let that confuse you. You just need to look at each part of that sentence and break it apart so that it's easier for you to be able to work. So, by the way, there will be a problem just like this one. This one right here is going to be on the your exit ticket, and you do need to know how to do this one. So we're going to pay extra close attention. So line F, if I come up, line F was 7 centimeters. Okay, and how long was line G? Well, line G was 8 centimeters, and I'm just writing that down so I can keep track of what I'm doing. Then I have to double line F and compare that to line G, and I'm looking for how much longer would line F doubled be compared to line G. How much longer would that be than this one? So we're doubling line F, we're going to double that, and then we're going to compare that to line G and find out how much longer. I'm going to give you a chance to try that without me, and then I'll be back. Pause the video. Okay, are you back? All right, I'm going to take all the steps, and I hope that you do too. If I double 7 centimeters, wouldn't that be 7 plus 7? If I double a number, I'm adding that number to itself. So twice. 7 plus 7 would be would not be about, it is 14 centimeters, and I'm going to see how much longer 14 centimeters is than 8 centimeters. So wouldn't that be 14 centimeters? Take away the 8 centimeters to find out how much longer 14 centimeters is than 8 centimeters. And this should be one that you should start to be able to do in your head. It is a basic fact. 14 take away 8 equals 6. So if you came up with 6 centimeters, you are smoking. That's going to make me so happy. If you can do that kind of a problem, you will not have any trouble on the exit ticket today. Okay, we're going to do just these two problems. We're going to skip these. If you want to do those on your own, you are just so more than welcome, but we are already at 40 minutes and we still have a lot to do. So we're going to kind of skip that one and move on to something else. So if I had 90 centimeters and I wanted to get up to 1 meter, which would be the same as 100 centimeters, use your ruler here. How would you do that? You have 90 centimeters and you want to get up to 100. How many centimeters would that take? And you're going to also try B. You have 80 centimeters and you want to get to 100 centimeters, which is the same as a meter. How many would that take? So you're going to start at 80 and count how many you'd have to go to get to 100. This is what we did in our morning practice this morning. We did exactly this. Okay, pause the video, do those two problems, and then I'll see ya. Are you back? Did you say 10 centimeters here? I hope you did, because to go from 90 centimeters, here's 90 centimeters, counting to 100 would be 10, because there's 10 centimeters between 90 and 100. And on the next one, did you count that that would be 10 and 20? So 20 centimeters to get from 80 centimeters to 100 centimeters. And if you did that, congratulations. If you'd like to come and try C and D on your own, you are welcome to do that. But we are just clicking the time here. All right, so let's go ahead and go now. We're going to do a couple of word problems. And number 7, I'm going to tell you that number 7 you can do on your own. We just are running out of time today. I don't really want this to go over an hour, and sometimes they just feel like they just keep going on and on and on. But here we go. Let's take a look at Carol's ribbons that are 76 centimeters long. Remember, we're using cubes. Ms. Starr keeps talking about that. We're also using read, write, and draw. We're using a combination of these problem-solving methods to help us. So Carol's ribbon is 76 centimeters long, and Alice's ribbon is 1 meter long. Okay? How much longer? There is my key phrase. How much longer is Alice's ribbon than Carol's ribbon? So that's what we're trying to figure out. So I'm going to remind you that 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. That's an important thing for you to know, and that will really help you to be able to solve this problem. So I'm going to ask you to turn the video off, and I want you to try and set this problem up all by yourself and see if you can solve that. So pause the video. I've helped you with the cubes, and you need to do the read, write, and draw part now. See you in a minute. Pause the video. All right, are you back? Okay, so I'm hoping that when you did this, you drew yourself your number bond using a bar model. What do I actually know at this point? I know that Carol's ribbon is 76 centimeters. So this is Carol. Oh, I didn't really leave myself enough room to write this up here. This is Carol. That's how long her ribbon is. And we're trying to figure out how much longer is Alice's ribbon than Carol's ribbon. Now, what I do know is that Alice's ribbon is 100 centimeters. So I'm going to put that right there. That's one thing that I do know. This would be Alice. So she's got one that is 1 meter long, which is the same as 100 centimeters. So what I have to find out is how much longer Alice's is than Carol's. So I've set up my bar model. Now I can take my bar model and hopefully you set up an equation. 100, because remember 100 take away 76 will give me what my missing number is. So 100 take away 76 will equal how much longer Alice's ribbon is than Carol. So what I would like to do is, so I'm thinking to myself, how can I get to the next 10 here with 76? If I had 76 and I added 4, would that get me to the next 10, which would be 80? Yep, if I added, that would give me 4. I'm going to add 4 to 76 to get me 80. And then how much more would I need to get me to 100? Oops. How much more would I need to get me to 100? Wouldn't I need 20 more? So from 80 plus 20 would give me 100. So if I combine the 20 that I used here and the 40 that I used here, won't that tell me that 100 take away 76, 20 plus 4 equals 24? So I know that it is 24 centimeters longer than Alice's is 24 centimeters longer than Carol's, because 76 plus 24 gives me 100. 100 take away 76 is 24. All right, so let's take a look at the next problem, which is a cricket problem. The cricket hopped a distance of 52 centimeters. Okay, the grasshopper hopped 9 centimeters farther than the cricket. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I got to come back up here. I made a big boo-boo before I do this one. I should be writing a sentence to answer this question. How much longer is Alice's ribbon than Carol's? I'm going to have to turn this on the side. Alice's ribbon, Alice's ribbon, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting this part, is 24 centimeters longer than Carol's. I keep forgetting to do this part, and I apologize to you, than Carol's. Okay, so you always have to answer the question. So now let's go down to the cricket problem. So the cricket hopped a distance of 52 centimeters, and the grasshopper hopped 9 centimeters farther than the cricket. How far did the grasshopper jump? So take just a minute, set this problem up, and solve it, and then come back and we'll take a look at it together. All right, so hopefully you set up your bar model. We know that the cricket jumped 52 centimeters and that the grasshopper jumped 9 centimeters farther than the cricket. That will tell me how far the grasshopper jumped. So I hope you set this problem up as 52 plus 9 equals. So I'm looking for a quick 10 here. So let's think about this. What would I have to add to 52 to get me to the next 10? Well, that's easy. If I add 8, that would get me to the next 10, which would be 60. So I know that I want to break 9 apart into 8 and 1. 52 plus 8 equals 60. That's easy. And then all I have to do is 60 plus 1 equals 61 centimeters. So 61 centimeters would go here, and I would answer my question. I'm going to come, man, there's just not enough space to write everything that I need to write because I like to write things kind of big. I'm going to bring it down here into this space since I didn't use it right now. So I would say that to answer the question, how far did the grasshopper jump? The grasshopper, did you write this out too? I hope you did, because you should be. The grasshopper jumped 61 centimeters. Bing, there you go. You always have to answer that question with something that is written. Okay, wow, this lesson is really going long. I knew it would when I practiced it yesterday, but I'm trying to cut some stuff out so it's not quite so long. But this particular page of the homework page is really important, my friends. I promise it's the last one we're going to do before we do the exit ticket. So hang in there with me. And this one will really help you to be able to do the exit ticket as well. So you're going to measure each set of lines in centimeters and then write the length on the line and then complete the comparison. So we're going to start doing what Miss Starr did. So you need to measure line A, and you also need to measure line B. Let's have you do that first. Pause the video, measure line A, and then measure line B. Pause the video. Okay, are you back? So did you measure line A? I'm going to use my one that we made today. I'm going to measure line A, and it measures about 14 centimeters. That's what Miss Starr usually likes to do, is to write that number up above. And line B measures about, did you see what that one is? Don't get confused. Here's your 10 centimeters right there. So this one is about 10 centimeters. All right, so now that we've measured that, I would like you to try A and B. So you're going to try A and B and then come back in just a minute now that we have those measured. Let's pause the video. Okay, are you back? So line A was 14 centimeters. Line B was 10 centimeters. About how much longer, or line A is about how many centimeters longer than line B? So if you said 14 centimeters take away 10 centimeters and you ended up with 4 centimeters, congratulations. 14 centimeters take away 10 centimeters would give me 4 centimeters. What is line A and B combined? I have to put those two together. So I'm going to be adding 14 centimeters plus 10 centimeters. Oh boy, this is an easy one to do. Anytime you add 10 to any number, that just makes that a piece of cake. So 14 plus 10 more. Did you get 24? I hope you did. That would be 24 centimeters combined. All right, so now what I'd like you to do is you're going to try this whole set by yourself. You're going to have to measure these lines on your own, find out how long each of those are, and then you're going to carefully go through and include the measurements here, and then you're going to combine, and you're going to, so we're going to combine on the first one. We're going to combine all three. Then we have to find out which one is shorter, which one is shorter, which one is longer. And this one, this is where you have to double and compare. So this section, very important to your success on the exit ticket. So shut the video off, try this one, and let's see how you do. Okay, are you back? So I'm going to kind of rush through this a little bit. I hope you said that line X was 8 centimeters. So I'm going to put 8 centimeters here. And I hope you said that line Y was 9 centimeters. So I'm going to put 9 centimeters here. I'm trying to cut down on the time because we're already at 50 minutes. And line Z was 5 centimeters. All right, so there we go with that. Now I have to combine line X, Y, and Z together. So I'm combining 8, 9, and 5. So 8, 9, and 5. If you combine that correctly, you would have gotten 22 centimeters. All right, so I'm not going to take the time to show you how to do that because at this point you should be able to combine those numbers. So line Z is about how much shorter than line X. If you said that was about 3, congratulations. And line X was about how much shorter than line Y. I hope you said 1. And line Y is about how much longer than line Z. I hope you said 4. All right, I am going to take the time to go over this last one because this is probably the trickiest one that we have. So I need to think about line X, which was 8 centimeters, and I have to double that. So did you say 8 plus 8 equaled 16? Because that would be doubled. And then I need to know how much longer that is than line Y. Line Y, if you'll remember, was 9 centimeters. So I'm thinking how much longer is line X doubled than line Y. So if you said 16 take away 9, you're on the right track. And this is a basic fact that you should know by now. If you've been practicing your 36s and practicing our breaking apart, you would be able to know that 16 take away 9 is 7, and that this line X would be 7 centimeters longer than line 9 after we double that. So these basic facts are ones that you should start to get in your head, so all you have to do is look at 9 plus 7 would be 16. If you thought about the number bond that goes with this, 9 and 7 are, wow, got that right in that Eureka math. 9 and 7, oh, Miss Stark, I'm going to erase that. Yikes, I can't believe I did that. Put it up a little higher. 9 and 7 are the number bond for 16. Alrighty, now let's flip over to, we are going to not, you can do this page if you would like to, but man, we're already at 55 minutes. So I'm going to say try this one on your own. I'm not going to have time to go over it. I knew this was going to be a long lesson, and boy, is it ever. So, my friends, this is the one that you need to do to send to your teacher. Make sure that you have your name on it, your first name and your last name, the date that you did it. You need to take a picture of this. I still have many students who are not doing this, many students who are not sending this. So, I don't know what kind of a grade to give you because I never see any of your work. So, your job is to measure the length of each line and then compare. So you're going to need to measure all of these lines. So line M, line N, line O, and then you need to compare. Line M is about how much longer than line O. Line N is about how much shorter than line M, and line N doubled. Remember when we did those doubled problems? Is that going to be longer or shorter than line M? So line N is doubled, would be about how many centimeters longer or shorter than line M. So that's what you're going to be doing for your exit ticket today. And there you go. Make sure that you send to your teacher. And my friends, I got to tell you what, I sometimes wonder if some of my friends are even watching these videos that are at home, because if you don't watch these videos and you don't send us this exit ticket every day, here's what we know. We know nothing about what you're doing. And we've been doing this now for weeks. You need to send this to your teacher, and you need to be sending them every day. All right, so there you go. You have a great day of learning, and we'll see you again on the next lesson.